episode of the Mannschrecks. I'm JJ.
And I'm Sarah.
And we're here to do that thing. We're in the place where we go to get away from the things that have a point.
You're wrong.
I almost tripped over my words a bit there. All right, well, we're here. We're kind of squeezing this episode in. I've been traveling a lot, and it's been kind of tough, so we're going to see how well this goes. But here we are in a weird time, and it's a little later than normal, but we're going to dive in. Before we get to the news desk, I have a quick mini game. So I threw it out on the various social medias, but it's a quick round of Muppetize Me, which is where we pick a movie and we try to insert the Muppet characters into it. And the question is, what if they were to remake Harry Potter with the Muppets, who would who be? And most importantly, who would the one human character be?
Snape.
Really? Okay, Snape. All right, good. People were very opinionated about the human character more than anything else. People were like not sure what to do with the rest of the characters.
Harry wouldn't be a human character. It would have to be one of the...
Yeah, right. So Snape was big. There were a couple people for Dumbledore. Let's see. This guy says, I don't think any Harry Potter character would qualify as a human character. They're all too goofy. Which is weird because they made them in live action. He says Voldemort would be the best human character and he should be played by Tim Curry.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty good. This one, I actually thought was the most creative. They said Neville should be the only human character.
Why?
I don't know, but I think that would be really entertaining. This one says Filch should be the human. The obvious one is Sweetums as Hagrid.
Yes.
That's pretty straightforward. For those who don't know, Sweetums is that big giant guy. The old dudes on the balcony as the Weasley twins, they have the right energy.
They have names.
Despite
and it's Statler and Waldorf.
That was from Vicky Pruitt.
Oh my god.
Statler and Waldorf. Let's see. Harry, Hermione, and Ron could be Kermit, Miss Piggy, and Fozzie.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I can see that.
That could be fun. I think the human character might be Dumbledore. And this one says that it should be played by Ian McKellen. I think Michael Caine could do it. He could be a good Dumbledore. All right, this lady Allison, she's a friend on Twitter. She says Snape is the one real person, hands down. Easy answer.
Yeah, I don't know why that's just the one that makes the most sense in my brain.
But who should be the human actor?
I think they should just reuse all of Alan Rickman's footage.
Alan Rickman.
And nobody can play Snape than Alan Rickman.
Somebody said maybe Adam Driver.
Why? Because he's tall and he
has
has
greasy
this
long
really
hair. Yeah.
Pale. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
This guy said Sam Eagle should be Snape, and that Gonzo should be Ron.
Sam Eagle? No.
Sam Eagle is grumpy, but he's always a good guy.
Sam Eagle could be Dumbledore.
There you go. Yep. This one just wants to use Ralph Fiennes as Voldemort as the real character.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, are we allowed to use Elmo and Zoe, or is it strictly the Muppet Show? Because Ron is definitely Elmo.
I mean, okay. Technically, they're Jim Henson characters, whatever, but let's stick to Muppets, not Sesame Street characters.
Oh, Robin the Frog. Who is Robin the Frog? I don't know that. Is that the Kermit's son or nephew or whatever that little frog is? I don't know. Robin.
I don't remember. It could be the smaller frog character.
Catherine says it should be Robin the Frog should be Harry and Kermit should be Dumbledore. I don't know. I think is Scooter is the little redhead, right? Like he could be
glasses.
Yeah, he could be like Mr. Weasley, right?
Yeah.
You do have to have the dynamic of like Kermit and Piggy and I like Fozzie as the third in the duo.
So that means that Kermit is Harry. So that means that Fozzie and Miss Piggy end up together. That seems like a huge
You can't think
clash.
these things through. Maybe Fozzie is Harry with his.
Oh my gosh.
Waka waka, I have a scar. I think Rizzo should be Scabbers because that would be really funny.
Or Gonzo. Rizzo's so no nonsense. I feel like Rizzo should be Hermione, but that feels weird to say.
That would be so good.
I can't imagine a world where, yeah, I'm thinking about this too much.
I like it a lot. Hang on, there was one more. This one says McGonagall has to be the human, but then she can metamorph into a Muppet cat. It's like, yeah,
Okay.
all right. That's weird, but kind of fun.
So is Maggie Smith still going to play?
Yes, of course.
McGonagall?
There's just no other human. I think that's possibly the best. Alan Rickman was also great casting. Most of them are great casting. But man, McGonagall is just the perfect. Like, that's exactly how I imagined her. Stern but fair, and yeah.
Or it's an entirely Muppet cast.
There you go.
And J.K. Rowling just randomly pops up as different characters somewhere in the film.
It's like
And it's like a what movie is that where the same person just keeps popping up as different roles, and it's like, and so as, and there's like several different roles. For
yes, I cannot remember.
I'm sure that happens in lots of movies.
Yes. Especially older movies. They really used to like have actors like Mary Poppins, where what's
Dick
his
Van Dyke is the old man and.
Which I never knew as a kid.
You really never caught that? I remember being so tickled by that. Like the first time I saw Mary Poppins
really caught
as a
it?
kid.
I thought he did such a good job being a cantankerous old man.
That's so funny.
Never once did
I was a much more observant child.
You were. I was not. I just lived in a fantasy world.
But see, here's the difference. When you watch a movie, your eyes just glaze over.
I'm just having fun. Yeah, I'm not like engaging my brain. So anyways, I thought that was super funny and just like random. And
that's cute. I like that.
All right, you ready to approach the news desk?
Sure.
What do you got?
All right, so my first story, I should have checked to see if you
I was just going to say, I'm a little nervous because we haven't checked.
Did you do the story on the pink pond?
No, what?
Okay, so in Hawaii, apparently, and it's crazy, that is what it looks like.
Whoa, that's like vibrant.
Mm-hmm. So apparently it says a pond in Hawaii is drawing attention due to its unusual pink color, and experts say it could be because of drought conditions.
Oh, what?
So apparently this is a pond in Maui, and it's called the Kealia Pond, and it's a pinkish purple hue.
Is it like mold or something? Like,
no,
what?
Usually that's what it is, right? It's like an
yeah,
algae
like
bloom
wouldn't you
or
think?
Something.
Yeah.
So apparently there's a guy that drove by who lives there, and he says, I drove by and I looked at it and I thought, that's pepto-bismal pink. Ugh. So he got his drone out and took some video footage of it. And it went viral on Instagram.
Yeah.
So the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service confirmed that the water has actually been pink for almost 2 weeks now.
What?
It says it's believed to be the result of halobacteria found in waters with high salinity. And the pond's salt content has recently gone undiluted by rain because of drought conditions.
Okay.
So normally it's more balanced because of rain, but because it's got a lot of salt in it and they haven't had rain, it's causing this. They say the water is not believed to be toxic, but samples have been sent for the University of Hawaii for further testing. Well, and not even that, like it could contaminate the ground around it. It could whatever's in it in the water could be killed if it's really like. I just thought it was so bizarre, and I was like,
crazy.
But it is. It's like a purplish pink color. It looks like toxic slime of some sort.
Pepto-bismal.
So that's
water.
happening in Hawaii.
Oh man, that's crazy. Do you remember the algae in the snow that was turning the snow like red. Weird colors? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think so I think about those Avatar movies, and it's like the world is amazing and there's colors everywhere, and I'm like, honestly, this world right here is plenty colorful and bizarre. Yeah, like there's so much cool stuff. All right. Crew aboard a U.S. bound plane discovered a missing window pane at 13,000 feet.
I heard this article. I didn't read it, but I was like, I just briefly passed by and saw some pictures, and I was shocked that they didn't inspect that. Like,
it's amazing. I'm just baffled by it. A U.S. bound plane took off from London last month with 4 damaged window panes, including 2 that were completely missing. So the plastic thing is there, the little shade that you can pull down, but the actual glass panel is missing.
How could they fly like that and not lose air pressure in the cabin?
So no one was injured by the window malfunctions, which appear to have been caused by high-powered lights used in a film shoot. That's their best guess. UK's Air Incident Investigative Branch reported in a special bulletin published November 4th. The aircraft departed from the London airport in the morning of October 4th, carrying 11 crew members and 9 passengers. So tiny plane, not a ton of people. All of whom are employees of the tour company and the aircraft's operating company. They didn't elaborate on what tour company. It was a single-aisle aircraft, an Airbus A321. It can seat more than 170 passengers, but very small passengers are seated in the middle of the cabin just ahead of the overwing exit. The missing windows weren't discovered till the plane had climbed to an altitude of 13,000 feet, several passengers recalled that the takeoff, the air cabin pressure seemed noisier and colder than they were used to. And it's like, what is happening?
Oh my gosh.
A crew member walked towards the back of the aircraft where he spotted a window seal flapping on the left side of the aircraft. So it's like the plastic part was what was keeping it pressurized. But those are not sealed, right? So it's like it was flapping back and forth. The window pane appeared to have slipped down, the report reads. He described the cabin noise as loud enough to damage your hearing. Pilots reduced speed, stopped their ascent. The engineer and co-pilot went back to take a look, agreed that the aircraft should turn around immediately.
Oh my gosh.
So they like went back. They're like, oh my gosh, we can't do this. We have to land.
This airplane is no longer functional.
Oh my gosh.
It's terrifying.
And then so after they landed, they inspected the plane and realized that it was actually not just one window pane, but two. And there was a third one that was dislodged, and a fourth appeared to be protruding. And so it's just like, holy smokes. They actually found a shattered window pane on the runway during a routine inspection later. They're like, oh, there it is. It's over there. Like,
oh my gosh. Can you imagine if someone had been like, if it had a full flight and someone had been sitting there and they were like, oh man, I want to open my window, and open the window, and then something gets sucked out and they're like, oh my gosh.
Wow. The window. And it's like, it makes sense that they had like 13 people on a big giant plane that can hold like 200. And you didn't notice. We didn't walk the whole, like, I don't check all the windows. You check the ones of the one row you're sitting in, right? Crazy. Just
that's bizarre.
Crazy. So thankfully no one was hurt, and that's why this is a fun story. But I can't imagine. I was on a plane a lot last week, and I
know. Actually, one of the planes you were on was an Airbus. We were looking at the stats of
was it?
Yeah. So could have been you. Oh,
could have been.
Going to London. Oh boy, that's terrifying.
I thought it was crazy.
All right, so this is kind of a random, story. A Croatian man was reportedly poisoned by cleaning agent in a bottled soft drink.
What? Ugh.
So apparently no traces of contamination found in any other of this variety of soda. So apparently this is a soda that's bottled and specific to Croatia.
Okay.
But apparently traces of a cleaning agent were found in a fizzy drink that was served to a man in Croatia who was later hospitalized with a throat injury. And this triggered nationwide alarm.
Yeah, of course.
So they analyzed the bottle and the glass. It was served to a man at a cafe last week. It included the contents of the beverage and a highly alkaline substance, but they're not sure how it got there. They tested other drinks and they were problem-free, said police.
So this guy, it was like soda, just a
soda. It's a soda that's actually bottled by Coca-Cola.
Like a Dr. Pepper or something.
Right. So apparently dozens of other people complained of similar problems, but there were no serious injuries detected from this. So
there's some kind of cleaning agent.
Yeah, it says, based on the established chemical composition, we concluded that it was some kind of washing or degreasing agent. So
you're not supposed to drink that stuff.
Yeah, it says that 20 unopened bottles of the same type had been tested, but none were found to be problematic. It's just, It says the injury came from drinking Romakel Emotion Blueberry Pomegranate, whatever. It's a Coca-Cola brand. It's a Coca-Cola brand beverage found in Croatia, and it's served in a glass bottle. But a lot of places just like emptied their stock to just, throw
it away.
And Coca-Cola was like, we welcome clarity that will bring testing results. So they pulled many drinks from its shelves to help cooperate with the investigation.
Totally.
But their preliminary review found nothing out of the ordinary.
Wow.
So they're thinking maybe it was an isolated case, but or an unintentional mistake. But
I mean, okay, so these factories produce so much stuff, and I'm sure they have like crazy chemical level cleaners or whatever. It's like you got to clean out the tank, but if you didn't rinse it well enough, then it gets in the bottle. That's freaky. But it makes sense. Like, I'm not surprised, and it doesn't really change my view of these companies. It's like, yeah, of course they're going to use crazy poisonous stuff to clean their machines. Yep. It's like if you find weird stuff in a chocolate bar. It's like, it's an aberration. As long as they change their policies, like put it in an extra rinse cycle. Yep. I mean, I think most people who are buying Coke products, they know it's not a health food that they're purchasing.
Nope, not at all.
Wow, that's crazy though.
Yeah.
Oh man, God. He said, did he go to the hospital?
It just says there were 45 other people that complained of similar issues, but only 4 of them have shown to have any substantial effects on their digestive tracts, and this man was one of them.
Wow.
But yeah, it doesn't sound like it was fatal. It just sounds like it caused some sort of problem with his digestion and his throat.
Yeah, it's like drinking, whatever those cleaners are. That's not good.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was crazy to just order beverage at a cafe and you're like, oh, it comes in a glass bottle. You open it up and then no, it's contaminated with something. So
that's terrifying. All right, so I have 2 stories. So I'm not sure which one to burn through because I had a backup story. But, so this is a quick one. Italian shark has virgin birth after 10 years in an all-female shark tank.
This is common though, right?
Yeah, it's not actually much of a story. It's just funny because it's like the baby shark was born into an all-female tank with no father in sight. The shark's rare virgin birth. I just think it's so funny because it's Italy, the Pope, the Rome, Rome, and blah blah blah. But it's like virgin birth. That's such a weird way to say.
It is.
It's like no. This is a rare phenomenon known as parthenogenesis. It's the result of a female's ability to self-fertilize their own eggs in extreme scenarios.
Yeah.
Like that's normal. That
happens
there's
with a couple different
a
animals.
bunch of different. There's more than 80 different vertebrate species, including sharks, fish, and reptiles that have done this. Yeah. It's not actually that crazy, but the headline is hilarious.
Catchy.
Jesus' second coming. It's
Shark
Baby
Man.
Shark.
Baby Shark.
It's Baby Shark sequel.
Oh, boy.
Just in time for Christmas.
Ooh, imagine as they gather around the fish tank and start singing Silent Shark, Holy Shark.
Oh, well done. I like that. All right, so the other one, it's not so much a news story as I'm just very excited that there's an event coming up next year. They have invented the Florida Man Games.
I heard about this.
Did you see this?
I almost did this article last week.
Because we've done so many stories about Florida Man. Bread and butter of this podcast of our weird stories that we collect from the internet. The Florida Man Games, inspired by the meme, will feature an evading arrest obstacle course and a beer belly sumo contest.
I just thought that was ridiculous, and I will absolutely be following up on that.
Oh, man. It's just the legend of Florida Man. So they're doing an event in 2024. It's going to be great, and we're very excited. They're going to... we will keep tabs on that. There's not much a story. I just needed to mention it because that's very exciting to me.
I thought that would.
They're expecting between 5,000 and 10,000 people to attend the event. It's going to be in February in St. Augustine, Florida. It's been well received ever since it was announced. They're just looking for a full day of belly laughs, and just like we laugh at the stories. First Florida Man story showed up in 2012, according to Google Trends data. Although we know that many of these stories predate that.
I was going to say, Florida's been around for a long time. I'm sure the Florida Man stories have been...
It's the guy who created, a journalist and author from Pensacola, Craig Pittman, said, it's just a constant bonanza for news organizations who are covering this place. By this place, he means the state of Florida. Mm-hmm. Although, a friend recently pointed out that Nebraska Man is starting to make some inroads on the Florida Man territory. Because there have been enough stories of weirdo Nebraska stories as well. Do you remember the bull, the guy with the car? That was a Nebraska Man. There was another guy who was on a bike with a parrot, and he hit a deer while riding his bike. Right? So there's some crazy Nebraska Man stories that are out there as well. And
it's more believable to me because there's nothing in Nebraska.
It's just crazy, right? Do you remember the...
so dull.
That's my recollection of driving through it.
Yeah,
I never, did you hear the story about the pumpkin, the big giant pumpkin? The guy set a world record for floating down the road. That was Nebraska Man too. The first one, his record just got beaten recently, but
by himself.
No, it was somebody else. Somebody else beat a non-Nebraska man. Beat him. That's why it was. Apparently, the man was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing it again." He was like, "I'm not going to reclaim my title."
That's the end of my endeavors.
Not a story, but Italian sharks are giving virgin births, and the Florida Man Games are coming in February. So we'll keep tabs on that. I'm very excited. That's just going to be amazing, and I'm very excited.
Very nice.
All right, are you ready for Sponsor of Your Life? I can talk about that bacon-covered shrimp. That was pretty good.
It's always food. I always talk about activities, and you're always like food.
Food.
This one food that I ate. This drink that I drank. This coffee that I'm...
These are the things that make my life joyful.
So this past week you were gone a lot. And so I... one of the days decided to take the boys to the library. So I guess the library is sponsoring my life. Always fun to...
Awesome.
Take the boys there, gives them something to, do for a little while, but also they come home and they just engulf themselves in books for...
They do. I mean, they disappear into...
They do. I told our oldest, I said, you can choose a couple of chapter books and a couple of picture books if you want.
Yep.
I'd prefer you to choose chapter books because you go through them so fast that will give you something to do. He grabbed 2 Boxcar children books, and we got home from the library at 5, and he had finished both of them by bedtime at 7. So I don't understand.
He's just plowing through these books.
I asked him, I said, did you actually read them, or did you just skim them? And he was like, no, I actually read them, and then he proceeded to explain the synopsis
give you the whole plot.
I'm like, oh my gosh, okay.
You actually did it.
So, it was fun going to the library.
That's great,
getting
though.
Books. So.
That's great.
Yeah. How about you?
Okay, so I did a lot of traveling, and so I'll do a 2-part because I do food a lot, and I probably do that too much. I love it because food is a thing that sponsors my life. Mm-hmm. So there was this place, I think it was called Bevins. It was a local Cajun Creole seafood place that was down. It was across the street from the hotel that I was staying at. Because I asked them at the desk, I was like, "What's good around here?" And they were like,
"Where were you staying?"
I was in Texas. I was down in Texas, in Houston, and in one of the neighborhoods called the Woodlands, which I think is kind of like a wealthier neighborhood. I don't know. It just seemed really nice. But while we were there, it was like, I asked the guy behind the desk, I was like, what's good food? And he's like, well, and then he listed Red Robins and stuff. And I was like, no. Don't give me a chain that I could get anytime. Give me something local. And he's like, oh, well, then there's this little place here. You got to go there. And it was amazing. Crazy. They had gumbo. They had these bacon wrapped shrimp that changed my life. And so that was just delicious. Nice. So definitely shout out sponsoring my life. But also, I'll do an academic one. Give us shout out to, I can't remember the author's name. The book Holes. Who wrote that? Stanley something.
I put it down.
Shoot. Anyways, that author sponsored my life. This is just a fun book. I hadn't read it in a long time. Yes, Louis Sakar.
Okay.
Or maybe it's Luis Sakar. I don't know. But the book Holes, they made it into a movie. I haven't seen the movie in years, but the book was really good. And I liked it as a kid, and I just recently read it with the boys. And they liked there's just a ton of narrative connections. It's a well-written kind of rounded out. It's not a mystery per se, but there's just kind of a story of revelations as you go, and all the pieces tied together. It's very satisfying to read. So I just really enjoyed that book. So
nice.
That was definitely sponsoring my life today.
Very cool.
and those bacon wrap shrimp.
Yeah, but mostly the bacon wrap shrimp.
But mostly the bacon wrap shrimp. I mean, I've had, I love shrimp, and bacon wrapped anything is always a good day. But this was very well done version of that. So I was very thrilled to go there. All right. Are you ready for our game?
Sure.
So this is a brand new game. It's an old game that people have done, but we've never done it, you and I. I'm excited / terrified. I don't think this is going to go well for me. So this game is called, I don't really have a good name for it. Just Don't Laugh is one version of it. Or Laugh and Lose or something like that. The basic idea is we're going to tell jokes to each other. And if you laugh, the other person gets a point.
Okay,
right?
So, actually keeping track, or
we could just have fun with it and let's see. And it's not just at the joke. It's there's an appropriate amount of pause, and if they laugh at any point in there. Problem is, I think you're a little tired, and you don't laugh as much. So I'm gonna have to do extra to get you to laugh, because I laugh easy.
Are you gonna be performing?
Yes, I'm gonna do
dramatic reading.
Yes.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
I think you should go first.
Okay.
I get a point.
Nah. All right. So a pair of cows were talking in the field. One says, "Have you heard about the mad cow disease that's going around?" "Yeah." The other cow says, "Makes me glad I'm a penguin."
Shoot. I'm so bad at this. All right.
You will lose.
Last week, my obese parrot died. Fortunately, it was a great weight off my shoulder.
Oh my gosh. That's awful. Was he riding down the street in Nebraska?
Yes. Okay, I have to stop. The whole point of the game is to not laugh.
Once my father came home and found me in front of a roaring fire. That made my father really mad. We didn't have a fireplace. You're trying so hard. You're trying so hard.
Muscles in my face
I know.
hurt. I can't not laugh. Oh, I used to, they do these like videos of people like doing this competition, and I always think like I can do that. Like I could not laugh, but now that I'm in it, I'm like I can't.
Seeing you try to compose yourself is probably even funnier.
Okay, I can do this. I joined a dating site for arsonists. They sent me a lot of matches.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Ooh, okay. Your mother has been with us for 20 years, said John. Isn't it time she got a place of her own? My mother, said Helen. I thought she was your mother.
Oh, I did it.
Ooh, you did.
I'm very
you
proud.
Swallowed
Yes,
that.
I
That
swallowed
was really
that
good.
joke.
Okay.
I did smile. I've been taking my dog to the park, but the ducks keep attacking it. That's what I get for bringing a purebred dog.
Purebred. Ducks don't even really eat bread. Why don't pirates take a shower before they walk the plank? They just wash it on shore.
Shoot, that wasn't even that funny. I could have held it in.
That was like dad level status.
I just love jokes. All right. I accidentally took my cat's meds last night. Don't ask me how.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's bad.
See, I should get points for the eye roll because you
eye roll. Yeah.
That's the big response I'm getting.
All right. Last week, the members of a Sunday school class were asked to set down their favorite biblical truths. One little boy printed, "Do one to others as others do one to you." That was really good.
I did
you
it.
did a good job. I commend you on your efforts.
I was going to tell a time traveling joke, but you didn't like it.
That's bad. Okay, where's the one? Oh, okay. A grasshopper walks into a bar. The bartender looks at him and says, "Hey, they named a drink after you." "Really?" replies the grasshopper. "There's a drink named Stan?"
See, the only way I could hold it together is I
You
knew
heard
that one.
joke
I
before.
like that one.
Darn.
All right. Oh, I had two I'm going to do in a row because I was looking up funny German and Dutch jokes. So, what do you call an angry German?
I don't know.
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut. Oh my gosh.
Now, this one, I really like this one. It's very clever. What's the difference between a straw and a Dutch comedian?
I don't know.
One's a hollow cylinder and the other's a silly Hollander.
Silly.
I'm going to count that. That
That's
was almost
bad.
a joke. That was almost a smile.
Almost a joke.
Almost a laugh. That's
Yes, that was almost a joke, JJ. Good job. Oh, is that the end of your...
That was it. I just had those two.
I thought it was a string of jokes. Okay. Every time this little boy went to his playmate's house, he found the friend's grandmother deeply engrossed in her Bible. Finally, the curiosity got the better of him. "Why do you suppose your grandma reads the Bible so much?" he said. "I'm not sure," said his friend, "but I think she's cramming for finals."
Yeah, I had it, but then you laughed at your own joke.
That was so funny earlier. I couldn't stop laughing when I told it to Liam.
Did he understand it?
He did. He thought it was funny.
Oh, that's so good.
Okay.
Of all the inventions of the last 100 years, the dry erase board has got to be the most remarkable.
Oh, that's bad. Remarkable. Oh, boy. Okay.
Ooh, that was a big smile, but I didn't laugh.
A man from New England went to New York with his girlfriend and took her to an amusement park. They'd heard a lot about the Tunnel of Love and were especially anxious to try it out. But when they got home, they were very disappointed. "Man," the boy said, "it was dark and damp and uncomfortable. Besides, we got soaking wet." "How come?" asked his friend. "Did the boat leak?" His friend looked at him. "There's a boat?"
Shoot. I saw the end of that joke a mile away. I knew what was coming, and I
still laughed.
I'm not a fan of elevator music. It's just bad on so many levels.
Oh, I've heard that one before. I almost used that one, I think, for a...
Nice.
A man went into a seafood restaurant and asked for a lobster tail. The waitress smiled sweetly and said, "Once upon a time, there was this handsome lobster."
Nice. I like it.
That was really good.
That was good. I'm gonna be all composed now. It's a 5-minute walk from my house to the bar, but a 45-minute walk from the bar to my house. The difference is staggering.
Staggering. That's bad. Did you hear? Oh, sorry.
I feel like my big accomplishment is to get the little exhale of air from you. I don't get a laugh, but I get a little...
The groan. Did you hear the one about the shepherd who drove his sheep through the town and was given a ticket for making an U-turn?
Oh, it took me too long to understand the joke because I missed the first line.
Man.
What generation does Forrest Gump belong to? Gen A.
Oh, that's bad. That's just bad. Oh, okay. Here we go.
Go for it.
2 eggs, a bagel, and a sandwich walk into a bar. Bartender, my friends and I would like a beer, says one of the eggs. Sorry, the barman replies, we don't serve breakfast. You're biting your tongue so hard.
I liked it a lot.
Job.
That was good.
Mm-hmm.
30% of pet owners let their pets sleep in their bed. It's not a good idea, though. I did, and my goldfish died.
Oh, God. Ugh, that's bad. Oh, boy.
Follow a lot of, like, dad account, Instagram and like, TikTok and stuff, and I just been soaking up these jokes. They're so good.
Oh. One day, a man showed up at my office wearing a pair of new shoes made out of turtle skin. When a coworker asked him how he liked them, he said, well, they're the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn, but I do have one unusual problem with them. It took me an hour and a half to walk out of the store.
Keep going back in. Nice.
No, because they're made from turtle skin.
I'm missing the joke. Wait, what?
They're shoes made out of turtle skin.
Yeah. So he had to keep going back in the store. Couldn't get out.
No, it just took him a really long time to get out of the store because he had to walk really slow because they're made from turtles.
Oh, because turtles are slow. I was imagining because turtles' head go back in their shell and he couldn't get out. I see. No.
Okay.
You're right.
That wasn't a good one.
I just didn't. I'm just too dense to understand it. An invisible man married an invisible woman. Their children aren't much to look at either.
Oh, that's bad.
Come on, I thought it was good.
Well, I was making farewell visits before moving on to a new congregation. An elderly member paid me the compliment of suggesting that my successor would not be as good as I had been. Nonsense, I replied, flattered. No, really, she said. I've lived here during 5 different ministers, and each one has been worse than the last.
Ooh. That's good.
It's sad because I can totally imagine someone saying that somewhere.
Yes, that's such a mean thing. I showed my friends my tool shed. I said, that's my step ladder. I never knew my real ladder.
Oh, boy. That's bad. This is my last one.
All right, here we go.
Phoning a patient, the doctor says, I have some bad news and some worse news. The bad news is you only have 24 hours left to live. That's the bad news, the patient said. What could be worse? The doctor says, I've been trying to reach you since yesterday.
Oh. I'm going to give it a laugh just because it's good. Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
That's so good. I have so many, like goofy, jokes. I guess most of those were goofy jokes, but I don't know why. They just let me laugh a lot. All right. That was fun. I really enjoyed that as just a goofy game.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because we get to tell a ton of
I guess I have to remember my joke.
Yes, because we're about to do the mom joke. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is this fun, goofy podcast. We'll be back to like a normal schedule eventually, but we appreciate you guys hanging in there because I released the podcast like a couple days early, and then it's like whatever. But we're back, and we should be on a normal schedule from here on out. And thanks for listening, and all those things that I'm supposed to say that my brain is blanking on because I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to send us out with the mom joke of the week?
Another joke. Yes,
another one.
All right. What do sweet potatoes wear to bed?
Sweet jammies? I don't know.
Yammies.
Oh man.
It's just regrettable.
That's fantastic.
Anyways.
Bye, everybody.